hellfire. So we have taken so far the meaning of fasting, the ruling of fasting, and the virtues of fasting. Let us see, when was fasting prescribed upon the Muslims? Fasting the month of Ramadan became obligatory upon the Muslims in the year 2 after Hijrah. In the year 2 after Hijrah. And the Prophet, peace be upon him, he fasted 9 Ramadan. He fasted, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, 9 Ramadanat. So this is when Ramadan was prescribed upon the Muslims. And of course, fasting Ramadan, it went into stages. Actually, it went through 3 stages. It was not prescribed immediately as we do right now. So when Ramadan was first prescribed in the first time, it was optional, whether you fast or you feed a miskin, a poor person, nisf sa' from ta'am, half sa' of ta'am. This is in the ayah of Al-Baqarah, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ فِدْيَةٌ طَعَامُ مِسْكِينٍ وَأَن تَصُومُوا خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ إِن كُنتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. And those who cannot tolerate fasting or so on, then they should feed a poor person. Okay, and if they fast, it is better for them. And when they fast, it is better for them, so that in kuntum ta'lamun, if you really know. So this is the first stage of fasting, that the one may fast or feed a person if he cannot fast or does not want to fast. The second stage, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it compulsory upon every Muslim to fast. He said, فَمَنْ شَهِدَ, the next ayah, فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْ. Whomever of you witnesses the month, then it is a must upon him to fast the month of Ramadan. Here, the second stage, it was in a way that a person may fast the same time from Fajr to Maghrib, but he may eat and drink and enjoy himself until Isha time. And after Isha, he abstains from eating and drinking. He starts fasting again until the next day, Maghrib time. Or if he sleeps before Isha time, between Maghrib and Isha, by sleeping, if he wakes up, he should not eat, drink, or do any of the invalidators of fasting. Clear, everyone? So if someone, in the second stage, you have up to Isha time. Up to Isha time to eat and drink. From Maghrib to Isha time to eat and drink. After Isha, you abstain from all the invalidators of fasting. Or if you sleep before Isha time, by sleeping, this is the end of your leisure to eat and drink and do the other allowed things for you when breaking your fasting. But you need to, after you wake up, you need to refrain and abstain from any invalidators of fasting. This was the second stage. Like one of the companions, radiallahu anhu, he was working in the field. And when he came back to his house, he asked his wife about if there is any food in the house. She said, no, let me go out and look for food for you to break your fasting. When she went out and she came after Maghrib, he was already sleeping. So meaning that if he wakes up, he cannot eat. So what happened? He fasted until the next day. By the mid of the day, he fainted. And it was told to the Prophet that this happened to him. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the ayat, after those ayat in Surah Al-Baqarah, عَلِمَ اللَّهُ أَنَّكُمْ كُنْتُمْ تَخْتَانُونَ أَنفُسَكُمْ فَتَابَ عَلَيْكُمْ فَالْآنَ بَاشِرُوهُنَّ وَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَكُمُ الْخَيْطُ الْأَبْيَضُ مِنَ الْخَيْطِ الْأَسْوَدِ مِنَ الْفَجْرِ. He said, Allah knew that you used to deceive yourself. Also it happened to Umar, that he himself, after Maghrib or after Isha, he had relation with his wife. And this was the second stage of fasting, meaning that he should refrain from such act after Isha. And this ayah also was revealed, عَلِمَ اللَّهُ أَنَّكُمْ كُنْتُمْ تَخْتَانُونَ أَنفُسَكُمْ. So Allah said from after that you may eat and drink from after Maghrib until you see you can distinguish between the white or the black thread of the Fajr time. So the third stage is what we are doing right now, that we fast until from Fajr till Maghrib time, and we may eat and do the remaining permissible acts like eating and drinking from Maghrib till Isha, till Fajr time. So those are the stages of fasting, like Ibn al-Qayyim mentioned, rahimahullah. So again, I really like to do a quick recap whenever we go, so we can understand what we have covered so far. We have taken the definition of fasting, and we have taken the ruling of fasting, and we have taken the true Fajr and false Fajr. That's through the definition itself. And we have taken the stages in which fasting has gone through. And there were 3 stages, like I have mentioned. When we talked about the definition of the fasting, we talked about the signs of the Fajr and the signs of the sunset. طيب, let us go through the issue, which is, how do we know the beginning of the month? So Ramadan is coming. How do we know that Ramadan is tomorrow? The ulama, they say there are 2 indicators. The first one is to sight the crescent, right? To see the hilal of Ramadan. If the one sees the crescent, then this is an indicator that the next day is the beginning of the month. Okay. The second indicator is to complete Sha'ban 30 days. To complete Sha'ban 30 days. So if today is the 29th and we went to sight the moon and we could not see it, tomorrow will be the completion of 30 days of Sha'ban. And after the 30 days of Sha'ban starts the beginning of Ramadan. So if you don't sight the moon during the evening of the 29th, then the next day is the 30th. So 2 indicators, either to sight the moon or to complete Sha'ban 30 days. By this we know the beginning of Ramadan. We have the hadith of Bukhari and Muslim that Ibn Umar said, that the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, إِذَا رَأَيْتُمُوهُ فَصُومُوا وَإِذَا رَأَيْتُمُوهُ فَأَفْطِرُوا فَإِنْ غُمَّ عَلَيْكُمْ فَأَقْدِرُوا لَهُ. He said, if you see the moon, then fast. And if you see it again, the end of the month, then break your fasting. And if you cannot see it, you should estimate. And in a different narration said by Abu Hurairah in Bukhari, he said, فَأَكْمِلُ عِدَّةَ شَعْبَانَ 30. He said, complete the count of Sha'ban as 30 days. If you fail to see the moon, then you complete Sha'ban as 30 days. So this is regarding with what do we prove the beginning of the month.